You're still. I'm gonna see if you can just hear you, at the very least. Uh, video. All right, everybody. I don't know if you can see me. Oops. Nope. So everybody, what's going on? Let me know if you can hear me, and then Tom, can you say hi real quick and see if you can hear Tom? We're having technical difficulties with the video, but if anybody can type in the chat, if you guys can hear me, you can hear Tom. I don't know. Hi, Eric. How's it going? Can you hear not only me, but can you hear a second person, Tom, at all? We're working on video stuff, but it keeps freezing on me, so we're having some technical difficulties here. You can hear? Tom, say hi. How's it going? Can you hear Tom as well? Mom. My mom's in there, so. All right. Only hear one person, and there's no Tom. Okay. I guess they can't hear you, Tom. What's going on, guys? What's up, real life? So I'm trying to get this stream going. I have my friend Tom on here as a guest to help me talk and just have some other discussion points. I am trying to get him connected right now. He's connected to me on Skype, but yeah, I guess it's just not quite working here. So let me actually try one thing. Let me see. Hey, Tom, talk now. I want to see if you guys can Tom talk now. That is what Tom looks like. That's what that's what happened when the computer froze. Oh wait, I think you unfroze. I don't know, man. This is not working well. Okay, well, so your image has actually changed a few times now on that screen, so I don't know. Yeah, you can see it, but can you hear the sound? Okay, you're unfrozen now. It is starting to unfreeze, I think, and then it froze again. Whatever, but nobody's responding if they can hear you, so I guess they can't. Apparently, nobody's typing if they can hear you. All right, well that's tough. This is a complete failure pretty much for this first run right now. Honestly, anybody could just type in the chat when he was moving. Could you hear Tom? Can you hear him now? Like just a simple yes. Anything. There's 7 people watching, but nobody will reply. All right. Well, I guess we'll just talk about. Since nobody. Yeah, you keep freezing and unfreezing. Okay. Apparently, he can't hear you. I'm gonna try one last thing while we're doing this. So, I just wanted to try to do something with not just myself here, but I guess whatever. uh, uh, okay. Tom, can you say something real quick one more time? Yeah, his mic is on. Like I hear him fine with my Skype, but I'm just having an issue, I guess, with the setup here. I thought I kind of tested this out and had it working pretty decent, but this time it's freezing like crazy. All right. Yeah, I don't know if it's just the connection or what, but cause yeah, it's freezing. And I'm reading your audio coming through the broadcast system, but it's just not reading through. All right, I guess I'll just go solo then. Tom, I don't know. Uh, well, you can just watch and talk. All right, sounds good, dude. I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. All right, man. All right, I guess we're going back to playing solo here. Or whoops, there we go. That one, oh no, that one sucks too. We'll go with this. All right, everybody, let's just start. Okay, so sorry about that. That was kind of a pain in the ass. This is my first time trying to do this. I did try to test it a couple times. It just did not work out very well for me. All right, so what some of the stuff I guess what I was going to start to discuss with Tom is just, and Tom's just a super smart, super knowledgeable dude, and I thought would be very helpful to have on here. But yeah, I'm all flustered with everything, and anyways, we'll just get into it. So basically, I'm going to talk about just the benefits of cannabis, especially for somebody with a disability, somebody with a lot of pain and muscle spasms, which is what I use it for, as well as to help me sleep. And then like the differences in THC and CBD and stuff like that. So I'll just start off with basically, I use both. I like to use a little bit of CBD, which I have like a CBD oil here. It's just a tincture. You just put it in your mouth, under your tongue, and it's good. I use that during the day a lot. The THC I like to use a little bit more, especially later in the day, because that's when my spasms really start to ramp up and start to build. Because I do stretch in the morning, and that kind of helps initially. That helps keep my spasms fairly reduced for the day. But as soon as I kind of start, once I've been sitting for a few hours and I'm kind of just in the chair for a while and doing things, my spasms start to build up all through my core, my legs, everywhere. And that actually starts to build up into like pain. They really do start to hurt after a while. And it's not really pleasant. It's not fun to have. So one of the things that I do is smoke cannabis. I personally like to smoke it. I do vape, I do edibles, everything. I'll do a quick breakdown too. So there's what's called flower, concentrate, or like vape, oils and stuff. And flower is just like actual cannabis weed. And sorry, I know the shadow somebody mentioned in the chat on my face. Sorry about that. I'm trying to work on setting this whole thing up a little better, but anyways. So the flower is actual just bud flowers. And I personally like that the best because I think it has a broad spectrum and it has some CBD and other cannabinoids in it as well as just pure THC, which a lot of the vapes are. I do use a vape. I have one here. It's just like a small little vape. It's no button or anything. You just have to inhale and it works. And obviously with me not having any hand function, no button is the easiest way to go. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to read this through here. Actually, yeah, well, spasms suck. Yeah, dude, spasms are terrible. And I have a ton of them. I get a lot of spasms. I have really bad spasticity. If I didn't smoke anything for the day, I would be jumping out of the chair, and I have jumped out of my chair before, or jumped with the chair and like flipped sideways completely with the chair before. So I really do need it, and it really does help me a lot. I don't like to be too out of it, and a lot of the medications, like even baclofen and the standard spasm medication that they give you, can really put you into a brain fog. And I took a ton of it before, and it really didn't do a lot for me. So, like, for how much it takes out of you, and how much just really takes out of you, it's just not good for your body in so many ways. And it didn't do that much. I still had spasms, and it just wasn't worth it to me. So that's why I came off of all those and switched it up to something different, try to go just to a more natural, just something a little easier on my body. So that's one of the reasons why I switched from the pills, because I was taking a ton of baclofen when I was out of the hospital. For my first year out of the hospital, I was on so much baclofen, and it was terrible. And I luckily had to come off of it because I was involved in a study at UCLA, and they had me kind of like standing and then like stepping on a treadmill where they were like walking my legs on there. And they needed me to come off the baclofen for the study, which I'm so grateful for now, because I don't know if I would have fully come off of them like on my own. Plus, they helped me to wean off of it, because that's another thing. Baclofen, you can't just cold turkey stop. You actually can get seizures and different things from it. So you need to wean off of it. It's the equivalent of a hard drug. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like using that. And then I was also taking like Ambien to help me sleep. And now I smoke before I go to bed, but I also do edibles. So I do about a 50 milligram edible before I go to bed. It's a little crispy square or a brownie square. And I actually get bigger edibles and then just cut them into smaller pieces. And then that helps. The edible kind of is a slower, staggered effect, so it lasts it works on my spasms for more of the night, and it kind of will give me a longer effect, because if I just smoke before I go to bed, it works for the first few hours, but after like 3-4 hours of being in bed, I'm starting to kick everywhere. And I still kick everywhere with the edibles. I'm pretty spastic. By the time the morning comes around, my body is extremely tight. So it's just it's really bad. But the edibles help me significantly. They help me not only with the spasms and just keeping that more relaxed, which basically also helps me keep to sleep better. So I get a whole lot better night's sleep because I'm not getting like thrown every which way in the bed every second of the night. So as you can imagine, it's not the easiest to sleep through. But it is something that's really, really beneficial for me and helps me a lot. So that's why I do that. I also, during the day, I'll do edibles sometimes during the day, but a lot of times during the day I do the like brownies or crispy squares, because those kind of take longer to break down and last longer in your system. During the day, I use these little gummy squares, and these are like little small gummy squares, and they're about 20 milligram squares, so they're pretty concentrated little squares. And if I need something during the day, those are a lot faster acting. So they actually, because the gummy, it actually is like very sugar dilute, like it dissolves in your mouth and starts to absorb in your mouth glands instead of having to wait to be digested. So it's actually something that I like and I use, and those will help me during the day sometimes if I'm like out somewhere and really am not going to be able to smoke or do anything, or just don't want to have too much of a head high and just want to make sure my body stays relaxed. I like the little edible squares. Those are just another really helpful thing for me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do for dosing. As far as what I like, I mean, the edibles at night, flower usually starting in like the later afternoon, evening. Usually before dinner, I like to smoke, and then that kind of helps me build my appetite, gets me set up and relaxed. And by that time, by 5, 6 in the afternoon, my body is pretty on fire. Like even right now, my back, everything is starting to really tighten up. It's starting to get like some burning sensation and stuff. So something that doesn't feel great. But I did want to talk about the one con for smoking, that because I can't just talk it up. The one issue I do have with it, and it's an issue I have in life in general, is blood pressure issue. So I have low blood pressure. It kind of really like, especially if I haven't eaten much, or if I'm hot, different things will kind of trigger. Like I get really weak, like really I lose all the spasm, like kind of in my core. Everything kind of just wants to just collapse like down like that. And I get really, really weak, like to the point where my body wants to shut down. And so that's an effect that I have just normally in everyday stuff. It even happens when I eat, just from the digestion, like all the blood going to your stomach to help with digestion when you start eating. That actually is enough blood to divert out of my head to where I get lightheaded and get like that low blood pressure. And smoking does the same thing. So it actually, if I do smoke, and especially when I haven't smoked all day, if I've been doing stuff all day and I smoke that first time, I get a real blood pressure drop, which is like when you see me doing these little like deep little reach backs. That's one of the things I do, and these are just normal everyday ones I do. But it gets really bad if I smoke and I haven't eaten much. I get like really bad. Like I get to the point where I need to sit in my couch. I need to get my head down. I need to be in a little more relaxed position. I can't just be upright in my chair and doing stuff. It gets really hard for me. So that is one thing I just wanted to mention. It definitely happens for me, and I'm sure it happens to a lot of people, especially quads, higher injuries and stuff. So do you use CBD? Yeah, I do use CBD. I mentioned that as well. So I do use one of the CBDs I showed earlier. Is just this like 1,000 milligram tincture, and it's like just a little dropper bottle. And I can use it myself. It's not the easiest to do. Now I feel like I started doing it. I should probably like finish. But so that's how I would open something up. That's how I had to unscrew that. And now the top will unscrew. And, I can be able to see it because it's too low. And I can't hold it while I do it. But I use both hands and squeeze the little dropper in between my hands to fill up the dropper. So, and then now that it's filled up, I try to use my hands, work my fingers around it, and then grab it with my one little tenodesis grip. And then I can squeeze the topper. And do so that's how I do my CBD oil. Let me just try to loosely tighten this back on here because I don't want to spill. So yeah, CBD is great. And CBD does help with my spasms. It does help with my nerve pain. And it does help me sleep too. So I actually a lot of times will do a dropper like that in the morning. And then a lot of times I'll do a second dropper at night when I'm going to bed and stuff. Sometimes with my edible, sometimes not. And then the other thing is too with the edible, I try to eat my edible about an hour or 2 hours before I even go to bed. Or about an hour before I lay down. And then, so it's starting to take effect as I'm laying down, because it lasts a while, and I've noticed that if I eat them too late, I still feel like the effects I still feel really groggy in the morning, and I don't like that groggy feeling. One of the reasons why I didn't like taking Ambien or other sleeping medications to help with sleep. So, just not a fan. I like to wake up and feel kind of fresh, even though I don't normally. It takes me a minute to get going, but I try. So yeah, I do. So that's the CBD. And also, let me see if I can pick this up and show it. These are just sample ones. I don't have the big jar anymore. I'm down to these little samples. But these are CBD lotion, so like it's a topical lotion rub. And these things are great too. I use the CBD rub on my neck and shoulders whenever I can. It's just a really good topical rub, and it does help for sure. So I like it a lot. So those are both the CBD products that I use. I don't smoke it really or anything, but you know, that's just I like to smoke the regular stuff, and I don't want to be smoking too much anyways. So I try to smoke just like a couple times during the day. Angry Quad, yes, I am up to no good again. So that's pretty much it for how I use what I use, and let me see. Any other questions on anything you guys wanted to talk about and stuff? Man, I was really hoping to have my buddy Tom here to have somebody to talk with. And then I don't know if you guys have seen, if you guys are followers, you might have probably seen my video on how I use the bong without, with my no hand function. And that's using this stuff called Beeline or hemp wick, which I have in my little jar. I love Beeline. So yeah, that's the way I'm able to do that, and that's what I do like to do personally. And that's also because I don't have to smoke any of the butane from the lighter. It's a cleaner, more natural hit. So that's why I use that stuff. Yeah, sorry, this little discussion didn't go quite as planned. I'm going to hope I can work out the kinks for next week, and we can actually get Tom back on here, and we'll get this whole thing going and be a little cleaner without some technical difficulties. So I got a few things I got to work out on that end. But yeah, does anybody have any questions or anything they want to see? Another product I use, and I don't want to be product placing too much, but I use just for, out of respect for, I live with my grandmother with family and stuff. I use this thing called a Smoke Buddy, and it's a carbon filter. You blow your hit through, and it filters out the smoke so it doesn't smell so bad, and you're not like putting the smoke out into the air for people that might not want it. Yeah, Tom, for sure, we will fix it. We'll figure it out, dude. If you have, if I have a moth, I don't know the answer to that, Angry Quad. I have a mothball in one hand and a mothball in the other hand. What do I have? 2 mothballs? Mothball. Alright, guys. I don't know. I mean, I'll stay on here and chat if you guys want and keep talking. Yeah, but I am going to start doing these live shows every week, actually. So it's going to start to be a regular thing. I tried to do this like a year or so ago, and then I had all my Botox health issues and had to move, and just kind of like really a lot of change in my life. A big month. That's good. All right, that's good, Angry God. Sean. So like I was saying, sorry guys. Yeah, so I did try to do this a while ago. I was trying to do some live shows. I only did like 7 or 8 of them. So this time I am going to do, this is season 2 of live shows, and this time I am planning to have guests and hopefully a co-host of Tom for most of these shows. I really have to work out these technical difficulties, get these kinks out, but I will be starting, I think on Tuesdays. This is not a set time and date yet. I will have to figure that part out, but I will be setting up a weekly show, and hope you guys want to keep coming back and joining. And then I can have guests like you, Sean, Angry Quad, and others, with other channels and different things on, and to talk about different stuff. So, all right, later, Angry Quad, Sean. See you later, bro. Hey, think about it. I might have you on later. So yeah, I'm going to continue to do this, and we'll have different topics every week, different guests every week. This was just a cannabis discussion because yesterday was 420. I planned to do this yesterday, but had some difficulties. Thought I had everything kind of worked out, and the kinks were good, but apparently not. So still have a little bit of learning curve and some growing to do with this, but I will get it figured out, and might have to upgrade a few things, but hopefully we'll get this dialed in here and bring some live shows and cool entertainment for the SCI disability community. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys all later. I'm going to end this thing now, but take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys next week with a new discussion. Not sure what the topic is yet. Like, subscribe, all that.